Okay, thank you for joining me today. Today is Monday, and we are on class six of 15 of how to be a top producer. And today we're going to talk about goals and some ideas, some thoughts, some theories, and some a little bit of statistics on realtors and just success in general. But the main thing I want to talk about first is the best part about real estate is that anybody, no matter if you're brand new, you've been in the business, everybody has the opportunity to set goals and to do whatever they want in real estate. There is really no one, has that big of an advantage. There's no genetic thing that you need to have. Like if you say, hey, I want to be a Olympic athlete, most people don't have the genetics, as a 5'10" guy. I never thought that I would go play certain sports, that being taller was an advantage to that. I wasn't a fast person, so I wasn't going to be running track, but I know a lot of that was I could run. I could probably run faster, but I knew I didn't have the genetics to run. I didn't have the body type to be, an Olympic type sprinter. But what I love about real estate is the opportunity to set any goal to get to any level that you want to be at, and to just have I just want, what I could wish for is every agent that wants to better themselves and wants to get into another level will just be so excited every day when they wake up that they have the opportunity to set their goals and daily goals and hit their yearly goals and what they want to accomplish, and just to be excited. So this topic today about goal setting and setting up important goals, or most of my notes are from a Brian Buffini training, and he refers to SMART goals. So I'm going to go over some SMART goals. Is that you have the opportunity to do this. Everything that I'm going to be talking about today, you can do. Everybody has that ability to do that. So I'm going to go over some statistics that are very, and you might not know the exact number, but you're going to go, yeah, that's it. Just in general, in our country, for wealth or success, this is basically the breakdown over the last, I wrote these notes from classes I've taken several years ago. It's not that far off. So I think they're still within the same percentages, but about the top part of our country that are independently wealthy is about 3%. 3% of our population say they are independently wealthy, that top 3%, that, again, do we have the ability to get to that level? Maybe, you could do it in real estate. There's lots of multimillionaires and billionaires that are in real estate, not maybe just agents, but investing in real estate. That's why so many people invest in real estate. But that top 3%, but I'm going to connect it to the goals too. About 10% say they live comfortably. They're make enough money, their finances are in order, their lives are in order enough where they say they live comfortably. The next is people which is a majority of people out there, unfortunately, 60% barely get by. You've heard that term. So many people are just living paycheck to paycheck. And we're going to go over things, goals, and why goals are hindered or not focused on when you're barely getting by, or even worse, this is the next level. About 27% of people are dependent on outside support, outside help, government, friends, relatives, parents, whoever. There's people that need outside financial support to even support themselves. So 60% barely get by. 27% need support. But that's why I started this with that. You have the opportunity to not be in that category. Yes, so many people are stuck in jobs where they have to work. They're in survival mode. They can't break free. They can't get into real estate because they can't take that step back to, that one step back or two steps back to make that big leap forward. And they're stuck. And part of me over the years, or even daily, is that I feel that you have the opportunity and not to waste it, because there's some people that would love to be in your shoes. It's kind of like, when you're, there's people out there that are in poor health. That's not part of what they put themselves into, but there's some, conditions and diseases and situations that they're in. They would love to be in your shoes every day. And sometimes I feel that way about my physical self. I'm like, I need to get out there and do more, because there's people out there that would love to be able to walk and run and breathe easy, and their heart working fine. And when you're in that position, when you don't have it, what do you hope for and wish for? What would you do if you did? Does that make sense? It's like, if someone that can't walk, the things that they think of, if I could walk or run, I would be walking every day, running every day. I'd be hiking. I'd be top physical condition because I could get up and move. Think of that. Now, that's why I compared to when you're in real estate. There's people out there that are in an income, or in a job, or in a career, or in a situation in life that they're never going to be able to be in the ability to have opportunity to make more money. So they would love to be in a position that you are in, that you have. Like today, I could actually make money today. I could actually do something today, work harder, do some things that's going to increase my income. And all I have to do is set some goals. So that's what we're going to go over today. So here's kind of the definition that makes up those percentages about, and where goals comes into play. About 3%, those top 3%, the major differences they had, if they are self-generating, they didn't come and win the lottery. They didn't come into family money and sitting doing nothing. If they they created their life, that top 3%, they had set clear, defined goals, which placed them in writing. They had clear, defined goals. So anybody that is in that top 3% that built that and created that for themselves, every single one of them you talked to said, I had clear goals, and they were written down, like in a business plan, in a statement, in anything that they wanted to accomplish, came up with a vision statement, something that they had things written down of what they wanted to accomplish and how they had to get there, like a blueprint. The next 10% of people that say that they live comfortably, they might say that they had goals in mind, and not all of them were written down, and all of them might have been specific in 100% crystal clear goals. So they definitely had goals. They have them. They had them. They still have them. But some of them may not be 100% clear. They might be more general. Like in real estate, like I want to sell as many houses as possible. Like you have to have a goal in real estate of what you want to accomplish, but you want to go beyond that goal, of course, too. So you have to have, I would say, a limit. What your goal is not to hit it. It's kind of like you want to go past it. You want to have a minimum. That's what I say in real estate. Some people are like, what's your goal? Your goal is, what is your minimum that you want to do? Not minimum just to get by, but you're like, if I'm going to be successful, I need to sell 50 houses a year. Well, I think you're going to be happy with 55 or 60. You're not going to try to get barely like that on December 31st, that 50th is closing. You're going to shoot higher for that. And that minimum, that's your minimum to reach your goal. Just like back to the comparison, if someone's running track and they're Olympic and they're like, I want to break the world record in whatever, the 400 or something, and they're whatever that is. They're not going to, if they broke it by 10/10 of a second or a whole second, they're not going to be, they're going to be more happy, but they're not trying to just barely break it. They're trying to crush it. So that's where, I want to say in real estate, you're just trying to crush that goal. That's your minimum successful goal, if that makes sense. The middle, that 60%, sometimes the middle 60% sometimes wish for something, but because they have no goals, their wishes remain merely dreams. So they're just wishing for things. That's why that 60% that barely survive, they're just wishing for things, but they have no goals. There's no steps. There's no blueprint on how they're going to get there. And that's where a lot of realtors that are not successful, they're just wish and hope. Well, I hope I'm in the business. And people know I'm in the business. I hope and wish that people would use me. And I get that a lot from agents that go, yeah, I know lots of people. I'm like, that's good. That's a good start. But now you know who to call, who to prospect. But you got to do it. Just because you know a lot of people, it's not going to get you there. And the bottom 27% have no goals except to exist. They spend a lifetime depending on outside help. So those people that are relying on outside help just to their basic needs are always, they really, excuse me, really are not going to get more. They're not going to get to that next level of just barely getting by. They're just stuck there. They're living and they're just existing in hopes that they just keep that existence. A goals program is essential to move up this ladder, so you want to say, to that. And I'm going to give you some examples of symptoms of agents without goals. These are things that happen with agents that have no goals. Agents with no goals, they always feel like they're in a rut. I get this a lot from agents. Oh, I'm slow. I was busier last year, or why is the market slow? I get that a lot for agents that are slow. Is the market slow? Are you seeing a slowdown? And what do I always say? I mean, most of you have ever asked me that question. Well, you see a slowdown? I say, no, not really. I see some agents that they're up, their production is up this time last year. Some are down, and I've been in it 30 years and it's not enough to, when you're selling, like example, if I say the markets came down 15% this year from this time this year from last year, if you're selling 100 homes, or say, we'll just say 20 homes, that 10% is 2, you're down to 18 homes. So you're not that low. The percentage of the market should not affect you, should not affect your success, your goal setting. The market should not affect an individual agent. It shouldn't. Because the market, example, I've had agents, one year they say sell 20 houses a year, the next year they sell 10, and like, the market. I'm like, no, the market didn't come down 50%. Your business came down 50%. And then again, what do those same agents do when the one year they sell 10 houses, and then the next year they sell 20? They don't go, ooh, great. They don't say I did the exact same things. I got lucky. Ooh, thank God the market came up 50% or doubled, or 100%, we'll say, because last year I said 10, I did the exact same amount of work. No one ever says, well, I did the exact same amount of work and just doubled my business and just got lucky. No, they did the work. So it's kind of like contradictory. Sometimes agents, when they do well and they double their business or do more, they credit themselves. But when they get slower, they start asking, do you see a slowdown? Do you see a slowdown? I've been getting that a lot. I'm like, no, same. We're about the, as a company, we're about the same as last year at this time, but I always have agents that are doing a lot more and some that are doing a lot less. It's just what you do with it. So again, number one, symptoms of agents that are not achieving their goals or don't have goals, they always feel like they're in a rut and something's happening. Number two, they're frustrated with the lack of growth. They're always frustrated. Why isn't it not growing? Why is my business not I'm supposed to be, they blame them, the market, they blame things, they're prospecting not working, not talking to the right people. So they're frustrated. They're always frustrated. Number three, caught up in worries of today. They're just caught up in things that are happening today and not planning for and not having any goals that move them forward. Like comparable, like when they say, example, if you're ever trying to be healthier or lose some weight, one of the things, I always knew this, is that don't weigh yourself every day. If you're trying to lose weight, you don't weigh yourself every day because your weight's going to fluctuate. You got to wait the week, 2 weeks, months. You can't weigh it every day. And even worse, can't weigh yourself throughout the day. Have you ever done that? It's funny. Like anytime I have to go to the doctor, I'm like, I want to go first thing in the morning, go to the doctor before I eat breakfast or lunch. So, I don't want to go at the end of the day after eating breakfast, lunch, and then go to the doctor and they're weighing you and checking you out, So same thing. If you're looking at what's happening today, you might make more prospecting calls today. You might have a good day. You might have not as a good day of progression. So you can't worry about, spend all your day worrying about today. Symptoms number 4 is no purpose to their daily activities. There's no direction. There's no blueprint. There's no not yearly goal, daily goals. There's no hourly goals. There's no number of calls, prospecting, door knocking, following up with people. There's no goals. There's nothing. They're just no purpose, no direction of where their day is going. And then last is, of course, the lack of motivation and energy. And that's what I was trying to start with. Every day, you should have at least a boost in your energy or your positive feelings towards real estate. And because you have the opportunity, you can do something with this every day. You have no one else to blame other than yourself for what you want to accomplish today, because every single person out there is a potential client. You are helping people that you could help anywhere. So here are the SMART goals, and I'm taking this right from Brian Buffini to give him that footnote to that. So the SMART goals, the S, like SMART, S is specific and written. You have to have specific and written goals, specific and written. To the measurable, for that M, measurable progress and completion. You have to be able to measure what if I'll say with daily goals, what are you going to accomplish today? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? How much time is going to take? You can't just, one of the sayings I heard is that most agents have no goals and they hit them with accuracy every time. So they have no goals, no direction, no finish line, no bullseye of what they want to do every day. And then every day they hit it with accuracy because they have no idea what they were shooting for to accomplish that day. Just waking up and getting through your day is not a goal. That's just existing. So you need to be able to measure it and check to make sure you're getting through it. A of the SMART is an achievable outcome. An achievable outcome. And I've used this already in this comparison again in other videos last week, is like running a marathon. You can't start from never running to running a marathon. You've got to have those goals, and it has to be achievable, because then if you don't hit that goal, you're just going to get you're not going to be motivated. You're going to be in pain from trying so hard, and you're going to be discouraged. So make sure those goals are achievable and have an achievable outcome. Number R of the SMART goals is realistic in time and skill. Where this is make sure, example, if you're like, well, my goal today is to make 300 phone calls. Well, there's not enough time to make 300 phone calls. And you have to have the skill or scripts or practice to say or talk to people. So here we'll specify that goal, like a prospecting, making calls, follow-up calls. The specific thing is you have to make sure you have enough time. If you're saying I'm going to make 100 calls and I only have an hour to do it, that's impossible to do. There's 60 minutes in an hour. If it takes you 2 minutes per call, I'm just saying voicemails and that, which is that's very low. It's like 30 calls an hour. So I think you could do like 20 calls an hour. You can't say I'm going to do 100 calls today and only carve out 1 hour to do it. And you have to have this skill to do it. Well, the skill is, to me, is having that script, having that ability, practicing and knowing and having the confidence that and to do that. So the great part about real estate is that we all have the ability to get better and hone in our skills, because as long as you have the minimum skill of being able to communicate with people, somehow communicate, could be even sign language, it could be texting, talking. You have to obviously communicate and connect with people somehow. As long as you have that ability, the rest is something that you could learn and get better at. Yes, some people are just, because maybe their personality, the way they've lived their life so far, maybe their situation of how they've grown up, they sometimes have the more, if I want to use the term lightly, natural ability to connect with people. Do you know people like that? I know some people right now that and they're not in real estate, that I just wish they would get into real estate, because they have that natural ability to connect and communicate with people. But being in real estate is not something they want to do. They don't have the drive to do it, but they have some of the skill. They have some natural ability to be a salesperson and connect with people, but the rest of the things in their life, or the whys of why they want to get things done, like, are not there. So they're not going to be good at it, even though they have that ability. Do you know people like that? Hopefully that's you, because you're in a great business to have that natural ability. I use that lightly. And last, the T, time-based achievement. Time-based. You have to have a realistic time of when am I going to complete this? When am I going to complete it? Is it a daily thing? By 5 o'clock, I'm going to meet these calls. I think you can compartmentalize or organize your day down to the minute if you want to, of what you want to. Are you going to stick with it 100%? No, things come up, but you have to have that minimum daily goals and make sure there's a time limit on it. And the funny thing, what are goals? To me, a goal is something that you ultimately want to turn into a routine. So a goal is something you haven't hit yet. You haven't hit it for the day. One of your goals could be, I just want to minimum prospect every day. Well, if it's a habit, obviously one of our goals every day is to wake up every day. That's a goal. and thank God anybody watching this woke up today. But that's a routine. You get out of bed. Your goal is my goal is, I hope I brush my teeth today. Hope you brushed your teeth this morning. That's a routine. I want to eat breakfast. I want to go, because some people in parts of the world, to eat breakfast or to eat is a goal that day. They have to go find it. They don't know where it's coming from. Maybe that could be those people in that bottom 27% that rely on other people to get. Maybe there's a lot of people that rely on every day on other people helping them get food, so they can't even get it themselves. So their goal is to, hopefully they got to go out and find and hope that someone's going to bring them food for the day. So hopefully that's no one on this call has to even worry about that. That's not a goal they have. It's just a routine. I'm going to eat breakfast. I'm going to eat lunch. I'll eat dinner. Or if I'm busy, I might skip lunch. So, but that's such a beautiful thing that we could be in that position. But so your goals are things that you haven't accomplished yet. Anything that you do consistently and get done every day, that's not something that is hard for you to do, is not a goal. It's just a routine. So, and then when you turn some of your goals into a routine, like my goal is to make 20 prospecting calls a day minimum. Well, when you start doing that every day and it turns into routine and a habit, now it's time to raise the bar. Now we need a new goal. We need a new goal, because what happens when routines, if you don't come up with new routines or add to them or enhance them, sometimes you fall off. Then you don't start not accomplishing those. And of course, I remember hearing this a long time ago, and it sticks with me all the time, is a goal is a dream with a timeline. I love that. A goal is a dream with a timeline. So you're just when you're going to accomplish that. So there's 5 areas of your life where there's goals, where you want to think about where your goals are. One is, and just you can write these down if you like, spiritually, your spiritual goals, your personal goals, maybe your health goals, family, what your goals are with your family, your spouse, your kids, your family, your parents, your siblings, anybody that's family. And I like to include friends, just your personal family and friends, of what, your goals and having relationships. Next is your financial goals of where you want to be, and business, your real estate business. So those 4 things: spiritual, personal, family, or I like to use the word relationships, financial, and business. So those, to me, are really the key components of your life. And some have goals, some have routines. Like, example, they're spiritual. I'll just give you that. Some people, their spiritual goals, there's really, to me, might not be that much. Your spiritual goals, like, you don't want to, you're already there. Maybe you go to mass or temple, or you pray, or you're just, your spiritual in general. Most people sometimes are kind of on autopilot with that. They're like, I don't want to get better with that. I don't need to have goals with that. It's just a habit. I go to church every Sunday. I pray during the day or once a day on that. And then personal goals, just health-wise and spending time with family and friends. Now, there's levels to this of where you are. So the one thing is that all of these could be different. You could start in different levels. So here there's 4, like I will say, levels, kind of like the 4 levels with before, of where people are. They're either independently wealthy, they're live comfortably, barely get by, or they're dependent on outside support. So those are kind of 4. So kind of, to me, goes on with this is kind of when there's different levels of goals and levels where you can be in these areas. One is you're in survival mode, which means you're at the lowest point of one of these 5 circles. You're just stable, and you're just trying to keep, it's just like on autopilot. Next level is you're successful at it. You're like, I'm doing well, I'm doing good or above average in these categories. And 5, it's very significant. You're doing great. So kind of like poor, fair, good, great. Does that make sense? So poor, fair, good, great. So if you gave yourself a grade for all 5 of these, spiritually, where would you be? Are you going to be poor? You're going to be fair? You're going to be good or great? Where are you at in those levels? Your personal life, your say your health, your just general happiness. Are you poor? Are you fair? Are you good? Or are you great? With your family and friends and relationships, are you poor? Are you fair? Are you good? Are you great? Your finances, your financial stability. Are you poor? Are you fair? Are you good? Or are you great? And business, where you are in your business, would you rate yourself? I'm in poor condition for my business, a fair, good, or great. So again, those 4 things, or each one of these, no one, especially anybody that would be watching a video or trying to get self-help and get better, is going to be all at that great. No one's saying great spiritually. I have no room for improvement, personal, family, friends. Everybody's going to be all over the place. And I remember in a Brian Buffini class, he was made the joke that this moves around throughout your life and could change often. Like example, he says, when your finances are down, your spiritual goes up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just those example, like say financially, and let's say personal health. Say your personal health is low, you're on that poor, then what do you go to? Then you go to more of the spiritual. I got to praying, like I want to be better, I want to be healthy, please. And you're praying, and when you're in financial stress and you're poor with your finances, you're like, oh, please God, I just want, just give me some luck. Let me get my business going. Whatever you're going, that spiritual level goes up. And then sometimes when your business is going great, especially in real estate, because you're in sales, your business might be going great, but then you realize your personal life, your relationships, that's more now the fair and poor, because your time's getting taken up. So, or your health, I've seen agents, get their health goes because they can't, like agents like, yeah, I used to go to the gym once a day. I used to, prepare my meals and eat healthy. Now I'm go. There's no time for the gym. I'm eating fast food. I'm not even watching what's happened my health wise. I'm too busy. So you have to think of where you are in right now. So one of the things you can do to visually see where you are, maybe write these 4 categories down, or the 5 categories: spiritual, personal, family, financial, business, and then write where you are. Give yourself a poor, a fair, a good, or a great, where you want to be. Now, this is where you could start putting your goals of where you want to increase to where you want to go. So you can't have, you can't go from survival mode and poor mode and go right to great. You're going to have to go up the fair to good to great. If you want to be just like losing weight, you can't go like, I want to lose 20 pounds. You can't go one day from this weight to 20 pounds. You're just going to get discouraged. If you want to have financial freedom, you can't, like, I want savings, I want a retirement account. That takes time. You've got to go up the ladder. You've got to go from poor to okay, to fair, to good, to great. So please make sure you're not like, you can't all of a sudden, if you want to build relationships, spend more time with your family and friends, there's a lot of moving parts with people. You can't just go from 0 time to spending every day, all day long with people. Or building relationships, more meaningful relationship. That takes time. So you go from poor to good to great. And there's always room for improvement on that. That's where goals come in. And one of the things that really stuck with me about how important written goals are was in getting things accomplished every day. It was a grocery list. I remember hearing this, is that grocery stores hate it when people come in with a list. You ever go in a grocery store and they hand out pens and paper? Like, here, let's make this easy for you to write the things you need, right? You think, or, you go to the grocery store app, on that. Why online? I think, my personal opinion, they love online orders because you don't have to put it in a cart. Because when you put things in a cart sometimes, or maybe, I don't know, this is just my opinion, I tend to buy more things online, like spend more money when I do online. But let's stick with this, because this is a while ago when I took this class and heard this statistic, was that people that go into a grocery store with no written list, that on average, they spend about 25% more money on things. And also some of those people forget things and have to come back a second trip to buy more things. So I was like, wow, grocery stores like it when people don't have a list. They spend more time there. They're looking for things. They're finding other things that they want and have or don't have, or those impulse buying. On that, I'm big on that. So that really stuck with me. That's why I wrote it down. Was if you just have like a goal every day I'm going to do some prospecting. I don't have a specific number of calls. I don't know exactly who I'm going to call on. You're going to not do 25% more, not like that. I think you're going to do 25% less and spend more time and energy trying to get to that 25% less. You could accomplish more with a written list. I got to get this done, that done, and time block it, know exactly how much time. Just like when you go to the grocery store, you have a list. I don't think anybody goes to the grocery store going, hey, I got all day for this. I'm just going to take my time and spend 3 hours in the grocery store. You probably go, I got 20 minutes. I got to get in and out. I've got things to do. So you put a time limit on it. Most people have in their mind of what they have to get, but like they said, some people just spend 25% more on stuff because they're just saying, let me go in there and get things that I need. And then they find more things that they need. In reverse to that thought, that comparison, it's like, if you don't have written things, you're going to find other things to do and interrupts your day. So at least if you don't time block, if that makes sense, I'm kind of in reverse. You're not in the grocery store without a list buying 25% more. You're 25% or more less productive with your time, with not having it exactly what you want to accomplish with every task, half hour, written down of what you want to do. You can. Just like myself with my days, myself and my assistant Brooke, who's great. She helps me with my schedule every day, half hour on the half hours. I know my calls have to last, and I apologize to some agents because I try to get all my calls that are scheduled within 20 minutes. And then I have 10 minutes in between every half hour, or 20 minutes an hour, to talk to other agents that need things. That's how specific I am with my day. And sometimes tell agent, I'm sorry, I got to get off the phone, hard stop, I got to call, I got to make it this time. So a lot of you get that, and I apologize. Sometimes agents come like, hey, I need you. I'm like, okay, can I call you at 1:30, 2:30, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. There's my day. And I could tell the agents that call me, it's like, wait, what? You can't call me you can't squeeze me in 10 minutes. No, I'm direct with my schedule, and I put it in there. If I get into my day and I'm like, it's all open, I'm like, and I look at my schedule, like there's nothing, I don't know what to do with my day. Well, I do. There's always things to do, but it's more, and it's not as productive. But I schedule that. So I feel if I could create the same thing for you, you have your goals. I want this half hour, I'm going to accomplish this, that hour, I'm going to accomplish that. And you leave leeway in there for all those things you have to do that are coming in. So let me give you that example. There's 60 minutes in an hour. I have 20 minutes in my hour, or a third of my time is reactive. 40 minutes is proactive. Scheduled, I'm doing something. 40, so 66% is proactive, 33% is reactive, if that makes sense. A lot of agents, when they get busy, it's 0% proactive. It's all, maybe 20% proactive, 80% reactive, what's coming in to that. So if that makes sense. Some other things to think about here. I want to try to keep it around 45 minutes today. A little bit of homework that you can do is that in those 6 categories or 5 categories of spiritual, family, business, financial, and personal, is to write down, 1, where you are, where you feel you are. Poor, fair, Good, great. So write those down: spiritual, family, business, financial, personal. Where are you? And then the second step is to write some goals of what you want to accomplish. And I'll two goals. One, short-term goals, something that you could do in the next 2 weeks. It's a goal that like, all right, I'm going to do this spiritually. I'm gonna definitely go to church, temple, wherever. I'm not going to miss it the next 2 weeks. If you miss it, I'm going to pray every morning, wherever you are personally with your spiritualness, your spiritual life. Family, what do you want to do? Where are you? And what you want to accomplish in the next 2 weeks? Do you want to make plans with family, friends, maybe make 1 or 2 or 3 more phone calls to your mom, to your grandparents, to someone. Make a 2-week goal. Business wise, what are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to increase your business? Are you going to get organized and get your schedule every day? You're going to set up your database in your calendar, and who you have to call, and who you're going to send postcards or mailers or text messages. Are you going to spend some time organizing? So what are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to improve that? Your financial, are you going to, in the next 2 weeks, are you going to save or spend or stay even? Are you going to like, wait, if one of my goals is to save a little bit more money, maybe I'll cut back a little bit. Maybe it could be as small as like, I'm going to buy one less Starbucks coffee this week. Or it could be, because what I always say to agents is like, well, I don't have any commission checks coming in the next 2 weeks, but I want to save some money. But we all usually have something we're spending in the next 2 weeks. I think we're all going to be spending money on something. Do you spend money on anything? What are you spending your money on? Are you going out to eat? Or you're, savings, or I'm going to cut down my driving a little bit to save money on gas. What is it? Think of something in the next 2 weeks you could do to improve your financial and your personal. I would say with your health and happiness. What are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to try to get yourself from whatever level you're on? Because I know you're not the great. I hope everybody's great, great, successful with all these categories, but you're probably not there on that. And that's what gets me to, let me take a step back, is what's your why? What's why you're doing this? Why you have to have that strong why. So, you might be fair to somewhat good with your spiritual life, and you're like, I don't want to be great. I don't need to be great. I just feel fine there. And my health is good. My health is good. I'm healthy. I don't need to lose weight. I don't need to get healthier. I'm just healthy. Doctor says all my levels are good. I just want to maintain. Well, you don't have a hard, big enough why. When you're unhealthy, there's a motivation there. And of course, the reason why you're even watching this video, anybody's watching this, I think your business is not where you want it to be. So where's your why? What are you going to be doing? Is that why the strongest? And I think for a lot of us it is, who's watching, and it would be watching this video, your why is strong, why you want to accomplish this. So think of where your why is and why you don't want to do more, why. So it's another kind of footnote to put underneath all of these when you are going through. What level are you at? Poor, fair, good, great. Where are you there? And what's your whys? Are you happy with that? Which one do you want to move? Because you don't have to be the best and successful and have that level of completely successful and happy goal setting with things that you're satisfied now. But hopefully you're not satisfied with just barely getting by financially. And even worse, if you were in a position you need other people's help to exist. Your why is going to be stronger there because you just want to get better at those things. So think about those of things you could go in the next 2 weeks, but also maybe write down right underneath it, right next to it, where do you want to be a year from now? So where do you want to be a year from now on that? Because maybe you might be at a fair and you want to be great. So you're going in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to take the steps to start getting from fair to good. And by this time next year, I want to be great. Or maybe you're in the poor area, like, my relationships are, and my family and friends aren't where they want to be. I'm poor there, but in the next 2 weeks, I want to be fair. I want to start showing that I'm trying. And maybe a year from now, I want to be good. I'm going to say, wow, my relationships with the people closest to me or that I care about are doing better than they were. I was poor last year, then kind of got to fair, now good on that. And then you have to have those specific blueprint to think about on how to get there. So think about that for now. And again, goals have to be clear and written. Please write these down. That's why I'm just giving you kind of this homework to write this down. And just like having a schedule, my goal is to get through my appointments and the things that I want to accomplish today. So you do the same thing with your goals. You need those daily goals, those hourly goals to get to those weekly goals, to get to those sales, that gets to the yearly sales, and it gets to all of the other, especially if you want to get your business to a certain level and your finances to a certain level, you got to have this. And remember, there's nothing you can't do in this real estate. That's kind of why I started, that you have the opportunity to do it, and you should be happy. You should, every day you should enjoy the possibility, the opportunity to turn this into whatever you want. I have agents with our office. I know many agents, as successful agents, those top agents that are making several hundreds of thousands of dollars a year easy. And I know in Ohio, I have agents, friends, and brokers that are all across the country, and maybe because their markets, but again, cost of living, you always say this, they're in the millions of dollars. They make millions of dollars to our hundreds of thousands of dollars because their prices are 5 times, 6 times more. Our average sale price in Ohio is in the low 200s, and the average house for sale in California could be 2 million. It's 10 times, which means the commissions are 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Like example, I have friends and agents and broker friends in their markets in Southern Florida. Our average commission up here in Ohio is maybe $4,000, $4,500, and their average commission is $15,000. So but they have to do the same things. So that's just part of the goal setting. Like if there's a certain dollar amount you want to make, there's a certain amount of sales you have to have. Obviously, that's something that's can be broken down into exact number of sales you should have, or an average. In other markets, it's obviously different because of the price ranges, but they have to do the same thing. So that's the whole point. They have the same goals. They have the same systems that are successful. Other than the money difference, it's the same systems, the same things, the same goal setting, just having to do it. And everybody has the opportunity to do that. So that's it for today. Hopefully it gives you some things to think about for your goals. And remember, reach out to me, call, text, email me anytime. I'm happy to set the time aside, put you in my calendar, and help you with whatever you need, especially with your goals. So that's it. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you at noon tomorrow on Tuesday. Bye-bye.